Welcome, fellow history enthusiasts. Today, we turn our attention to the tumultuous era of the late Roman Republic, a period rife with military conquests, political machinations, and legendary figures whose reputations have survived millennia. Among these towering personas, few remain as enigmatic and fascinating as Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, better known as Pompey the Great. Often overshadowed by his contemporaries such as Julius Caesar, Pompey's life was a constant pursuit of glory, honor, and influence, all of which seemed to slip from his grasp in the most crucial moments, earning him the unenviable title of history's biggest loser. Born in 106 BC to a wealthy, non-aristocratic family, Pompey ascended to military power at a young age. His first claim to fame arrived as he defied the Roman tradition of waiting for the Senate's approval before taking up arms. He allied himself with Sulla, one of Rome's most powerful generals, during the Civil War in 83 BC, distinguishing himself with decisive victories that earned him the cognomen Magnus or the Great, a title he accepted with modest hesitation. Pompey's star seemed to be perpetually on the rise. He was instrumental in ending the Spartacus-led slave rebellion and was also at the helm of the campaign against the Mediterranean pirates, restoring order and control over the sea. Further cementing his reputation, Pompey led a successful military campaign in the east, expanding Rome's territories to an unprecedented extent. To the outside observer, it may have seemed that Pompey was riding an unstoppable wave towards immortality. However, the shifting sands of Roman politics were treacherous. Pompey's downfall began with his political alliances, specifically the formation of the first triumvirate in 60 BC with Julius Caesar and Crassus. The unofficial coalition was meant to consolidate their power and bypass the Senate's authority. But such alliances in Rome were seldom grounded in genuine friendship or trust, but rather in mutual convenience, ambition, and the harsh necessities of Roman politics. Pompey married Caesar's daughter, Julia, to solidify their political bond. Yet when she died in 54 BC, their relationship fractured irreparably, and Pompey aligned himself with Caesar's enemies in the Senate. Despite his previous military prowess, Pompey proved to be less adept at navigating the intricate web of Roman political life. His decisions seemed to always land him on the losing side, his once legendary reputation as a military leader dwindling with each misstep. This pattern of defeat culminated in the Great Civil War between Pompey and Caesar. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon in 49 BC, a direct challenge to Pompey and the Senate, Pompey was caught off guard. He found himself outmaneuvered by Caesar's swift and decisive action and was forced to flee Rome. Despite amassing a sizable force in Greece, Pompey was decisively defeated by Caesar at the Battle of Pharsalus in 48 BC. Stunningly, the once great general found himself a fugitive in a world that he had done so much to shape. Pompey fled to Egypt, hoping to find refuge under the young King Ptolemy VIII. However, rather than receiving the respect due to a man of his stature, Pompey met a tragic and ignoble end. Ptolemy, seeking favor with the victorious Caesar, had Pompey assassinated upon his arrival. The man who was once dubbed the Great was unceremoniously beheaded, his body discarded on the shores of the Nile. Pompey's death marked the end of a chapter in Roman history. His life and legacy serve as a cautionary tale of the fleeting nature of power and glory. He spent his life climbing the echelons of power, only to repeatedly fall at the precipice of his dreams. His thirst for power, his inability to play the political game effectively, and his ultimate defeat to his rival Caesar all paint a picture of a man who seemed destined for greatness but never quite grasped it. So, was Pompey history's biggest loser? It's a harsh title to bestow upon a man who achieved so much. It's true that he lost the game of Roman politics, and his life ended in defeat and ignominy. But to focus solely on the end of his story is to overlook the complexity of his life. Pompey was a military genius who expanded the Roman Empire's boundaries, commanded the respect of his troops, and for a time, held considerable sway over the Roman political scene. His downfall was as much a result of the treacherous nature of Roman politics as it was his own personal failings. His story is a stark reminder of the volatility and unforgiving nature of power and influence, particularly in a society as politically charged as Rome. It's easy to label Pompey as history's biggest loser, focusing on his dramatic fall from grace, his political blunders, and his violent end. But perhaps it's more accurate to say that he was a man of great ambition and ability who fell victim to the shifting alliances and the cutthroat politics of his time. In the grand narrative of history, Pompey serves as a compelling example of how the course of an individual's life can be drastically shaped by the epoch they live in. His is a tale that encompasses the ruthless drive for power, the fragile nature of alliances, and the harsh consequences of political miscalculations. While he may not have achieved the immortal glory he sought, Pompey the Great remains an integral part of Roman history, a figure who embodies the relentless ambition, grand achievements, and dramatic downfalls that make the study of the past such a fascinating endeavor. History's biggest loser? Perhaps, but certainly one of its most unforgettable characters.